Welcome everybody. This is the Thursday evening Viper Trading webinar. If you are here to learn about trading futures markets, you are absolutely in the right place. All communications from Viper Trading Systems are for educational purposes only. Futures trading does involve risk, and there is a risk of loss. Nothing contained in this webinar, other webinars including live trading room, are to be construed as investment or trading advice. And of course, everybody in here does know that you do trade at your own sole discretion. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to talk about a few things here. I know it was supposed to be on managing losing trades, but truth be told, I don't know that I want to spend a whole hour on that because we do have another one. I have one at 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I have a similar topic. So what I think I'm going to do is focus a little bit more on trade entries and some things that you can do to get a good sense of market direction and what you should be doing in terms of your trading. I think that's a little bit more valuable to do tonight, and I'll reserve the losses discussion for Saturday morning. Okay. All right. Let's get over to a chart here on screen one. I'm going to try to cover some different instruments here. Where are we at here? Screen one. All right, checking visual. Does everybody see a 4-range chart of ES right here? Cursor moving, power meter moving, ES chart, 4-range. Yes? Okay, good. All right. Some of you are completely new, and so I'm just going to take a second here to talk about what you're looking at here. We are connected to a data feed to our broker, and that broker is NinjaTrader. And so this is a 4-range chart. Each bar is 4 ticks. And we have produced indicators that help you see places to take trades and see trends and things of this nature. And so the components of the indicators are background colors. Of course, you can see there's different bar colors, blue, yellow, and red. We have the power meter, which is the 4 different trends on the chart. We have predictors. Those are the swings. We have object trader alerts. We'll look at those in a little bit when we start talking about trade setups. These are things that you turn on in trends to flash bars to let you know that the trades are setting up. It's a visual aid kind of thing. We have the stealth line. Generally speaking, it's this little sneaky snake line. When the market's going down, it's red, like such. When the market goes up, it's green. And the most prominent thing, of course, is the bands. So we have the thick, what's called the middle band here, the midband, and we have 4 bands below it, 4 bands above it. The thin red line above band 2 is line 2, and the thin green line above band 6 here is called line 6. Okay, and those feature prominently in our trading. So what we need to do is, one of the things that's one of the most important things to do for when you're going to trade is identify if there is a trend, and if there is a trend, what is it? Because that drives all your thinking in terms of what types of trades you're going to take. So you're going to have to decide, am I taking long trades or am I taking short trades? That's the first thing that you do. You assess the condition. So for instance, let's do a little exercise together. I'm going to scroll around this chart, and we're going to ask a couple questions and see if you can see what the trend is. Okay? How about from here to here? And I'm going to do this real quick. Each one's going to be 5 seconds, and all you're going to have to do is type in a U or a D. U for up, D for down. So between here and here, was the trend up, U, or the trend down, D? From here to here. Here to here. Up or down, U or D. 4 seconds left. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Time's up. D. D, it's down. So characteristics of a downtrend are a series of lower highs, lower lows, and red background. The midband and all the bands around it are stair-stepping down, like such. See? Generally speaking, you're going to have predominantly red bars. The red stealth will be present on the screen, and so you have many visual aids to tell you that the market is heading down. Now, the way we trade this, and I would strongly urge you, if you're going to learn to trade futures and you're just starting out, or even at intermediate level, that ES is a good instrument to learn on. Okay, it doesn't move that fast, heavily institutionally traded, large amount of volume on it, and generally speaking, in a trend, you'll get some very excellent mid-band trades. Yeah, Daniel T, if you're just coming in, if you're new, I'm here in California, so everything on my chart is going to be Pacific time. Yes, Pacific time down here. So this would have been a couple of days ago on the chart, 7:30, 6:30. So here would have been the open of the equity market here. And then, you're all 10 o'clock is over here. Okay? Now, market can change direction, obviously. You can see over here what happens on this thrust is that, I'll just help you out here, we change to an uptrend. Oh, let me finish the discussion on taking shorts. So when we break this area here and we come back up and we kiss and roll, given the condition of the market at the time, you may or may not have boxed this area in using our object trader tool. And you probably could have let it, can you see that you have a transitional background color here? So you'd come off of being green, you hadn't turned red yet, and these bars are just kind of sitting in the band above the midband. Now, in conditions like this, it's perfectly acceptable to allow the market to go either direction. So for you, those of you that are completely new, we have what's called an object trader OT tool. And the way it works is you simply engulf the candles with the box. And when a candle closes outside of it, so here's an example, if it closed up like that, it fires a market long for however many contracts you have in. And then you have targets. It sets targets and trails and manages the trade, which you can do yourself manually with limit orders and what have you. But the OT tool is very good for that. In this case here, of course, you can see that the market bar closed down. So market, if you had theoretically had this box where it is right here, you have been filled short on one of these bars right here, market order. And I'll just say this one time, what we recommend in the beginning is to try to at least trade 2 contracts, and you want to get a scalp off generally around 10 ticks. So your first contract comes off, and then you bring your initial stop. Well, this didn't happen, so that did not happen, and that didn't happen, okay? And then you bring your initial stops from up here. Usually those are about 10, 12 ticks above your entry, so they'd be sitting somewhere up here, to somewhere around 2 to 3 ticks behind your fill. Now you have the free trade where you can make money even if it flips on you. Now, I can tell you this, is that, you've heard us say this in the live room many, many times, is that, in this particular case, the market continued on down in your favor. Okay? It continued on down in your favor. But I want to take a brief minute to talk about trade management. If for some reason, a news event, unforeseen, drone strike, a tweet, who knows, whatever, the market just decides to flip. And so instead of getting in this hypothetical situation, if you don't get this follow through like this, where market precipitously moves in your favor, all of a sudden it flips like this. And that happens occasionally, okay? Now in this particular case, you have already moved your stop, or object trader has, from 10, 12 ticks to 2, 3 ticks behind your entry. And so you got a free trade because you got 10 minus 3, so you're okay. But in the event that it starts messing around and you haven't moved that, what can you do to get out of it? So I want everybody to learn this. This is one of the most important things in trading. If the market flips on you like this, which it didn't, but if it did, what would you do? All of a sudden the market looks like it's going in your favor, and just for some wacky old reason, She just flips and takes off in the other direction. What do you do? Hit the close button. Go flat. Good. So the key to longevity in trading, and I'm sure that if you're a trader that's been around for a while, you've heard this probably 1,000 times. You've got to let your runners run and cut your losers short. So let's just recap what we talked about here real quick. So step one in our trading adventure here is to, what are we doing here? Stand by. Step one, determine the trend. If there's a trend present, and we just said that it was, if the trend is up, generally speaking, you're going to be taking long trades. And conversely, if the trend is down, you're going to be looking for shorts. And the shorts are going to be taken on retracements. Right? Number two, I'm just going to put number 2 here. If you get stuck in a loser that flips on you, hit the close button. You want to cut those losers short. And, you got to embrace your losses. You really do. You got to realize that trading's a business, right? And, do you know any business out there in the world that made 100% profit all the time and never took a loss on anything? I mean, really, seriously, that doesn't exist. Everybody knows that, right? People make mistakes, and everybody makes a mistake. You get in the wrong spot, market flips, things are unpredictable. You're trading. But you got to cut those losers super, super tight. You want them to be really tight. You want to take nice, tight stops. And then, of course, number 3 is we're going to let those runners run as long as possible. So I heard some comments, and I've heard this many, many times before. And this may be some of you. This might be applicable to some of you. I trade early. I trade in the pre-market, or I trade right at the open, and I always seem to get whack-a-mole, right? And every morning I'm digging out of a hole. It's very frustrating. So how do you stop that? How do you stop from getting yourself into a hole right out of the gate? What can you do? What should you do? This is really important. Don't trade the pre-markets. Skip the open and wait. Good. Some markets have runs, and so let's just put this as kind of a little sort of a little rule number 4 here. You may want to skip pre-market trading. I can tell you for a fact, I used to do it years ago, and I found that I was not able to be consistent. One day the market would move, and then the next time, I spent half an hour, chasing around a bunch of chop, and it was horrible, and I'm all whack-a-mole by the time the good moves come after the open. And so, if that's happening to you, and I would even go so far as to say this. In fact, I'm going to go 1A and B. In fact, let's not even call these steps. Let's just call these, words to live by or whatever, to trade by. I cannot say this enough. I put it even before. Well, I'm going to call this 1A and B. That's how close they are. Number 1B. Choose the proper instrument for your trading style. You know, I hear all the time. You know, I'm sure everybody hears this once in a while. You know, I've been trading. I'm just going to pick an arbitrary instrument. I've been trading gold. Been doing it for several weeks. I don't know what it is, but I just can't seem to make a profit trading that gold. Well, what is that telling you? I mean, think about it for a second, right? I mean, maybe I'm going out on a limb here. You shouldn't be trading gold, right? So maybe that's crude oil. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're trading, you should be profitable and you should know your numbers. So when I say know your numbers, what does that mean? Everybody in here should know your numbers. So if I said, okay, type in your numbers, what am I talking about? That's some kind of weird, funky numerology thing? What does that have to do with trading? Numbers. Know your numbers. What was this? Is this calculus class? Trigonometry? Are we in 6th grade? What is this? Win rate. Right? So in NinjaTrader, and I'm not going to get sidetracked and show like a lot of it. There's a tab up here. Okay, you want to go to account performance, pull up the account you're trading, whether it's your live or sim or whatever it is. Go to account performance and run your numbers. Okay, run your numbers. Here's what it looks like. It's going to look like this tab right here. I do it every day on every instrument. Okay, you're going to pick your instrument. There's a drop down over here. Go advanced. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to sort of do a quick overview of it. Go advanced, pick the account, pick the instrument, pick the dates, say this week, hit generate, and you're going to get a spit out. It's going to look like this. Now you want to focus in on these areas right here. You want to look at your percent win rate and how you're doing on your trades. This should be far north of 50, 60%. Your goal is to get that up closer to 70, 75, 80+% on your win rate. Because here's the thing. Let's say hypothetically that you're a 50-50 trader. Now you would want your winners down here. See the average winner and average loss? See these numbers down here? See all these numbers down here? Average winner, average loss. So if you're a 50-50 trader, but your average win is 2 times the size of your loss, because what did we say back here? What did we say back here? We said, right? Let your runners run, cut your losers short. Remember, right here, we just said that. That's what that means. So when we say cut it short, maybe your average loss is like 6, 8, 10 ticks, but your winners, you're capturing normally 20, 25, 30, sometimes 40+ ticks. So you want that to be. So those are the 2 levers to pull to make money. You have to have a very good win rate, which means that you successfully picked out an instrument to trade, right, suitable to your trading style. That's the win rate. You did a good job there. And you want those average winners to be at least 2 times the average losers. So if I said, what are your numbers, and you just gloss over, that's telling me that you're not looking at any of this. So you're an uninformed trader. You don't know how you're doing. And if somebody said, well, how are you doing trading gold today? How did you do on ES today? I don't know. Now, if you were a business owner or had a business partner, and you went up to them and you said, hey, how we doing? And they said, I don't know. How do you think that business is going to do? How would you feel about that? Because essentially that's the same question. I mean, aren't you in the trading business to make money? Yeah, so you get the point. You got to learn your numbers, right? You got to learn your numbers. I have learned, you can see in the room every day, right? I've got 4 huge screens here. This ES chart you see right here is featured prominently right in the front. This is what I trade mainly. I have another screen with NASDAQ on it. I have another screen with Russell and YM. Those all tend to move. Sometimes one leads the other. So I like to watch all of them. And then, of course, I have crude and gold on another screen. And so what I do is I have very specific setups. My favorite trades, and I would suggest this could be for you too, collectively everybody here tonight, is the midband trade in a trend. So let's zoom in and talk about that real quick. So the 3 trade types on a downside are as follows. You have a minimum criteria that sits right here above line 2, the red line here, right? We have a midband trade that essentially is in the bands around the midband or on the midband itself. And then a deep retracement or deep bar probe, sometimes the yellow bar probe, or phantom, there's different terms for it, in a trend can go so far as up to there. It's not going to change the trend, it's just a deep retracement. Now I've shown you all three. So remember that win rate we were talking about? What you might want to do in Sim is experiment in Sim with the 3 different trade types and then go back and reassess how you did. Me personally, I love a midband trade. So let's look at some examples right here of short midband trades. Here's one right here. Now, and here's one right here. So on the surface, you might say to yourself, well, you know what, Charles, I'll tell you what, that seems like a pretty straightforward system. You know, I see you have 3 different trade types. You like the midband. You like ES in a trend. I trade it every day, and I have for years. So, you know, you start to get a feel for an instrument, right, when you do it that long. And so, truth be told, I'm not a big fan of deep retracements. I'm just not. I have looked at my success rate in those trades, and I'm not very good at them. So I don't normally take them. Unless there's such a situation where there's such a strong trend and it looks like it's going to roll over and continue to head down, which happened today, I will take those. Also, looking at the minimum side, which is this retracement right here, I rarely take those. The only reason I would take it is this, is let's suppose that I'm looking at ES and I'm looking up at my Weimer and my Russell and my NASDAQ, and in this example here, all of them are tanking like big dogs, right? So I'm getting a visual from the other markets of what's going on with the other equity markets, and normally the flip side of that is gold would be heading up, right? Because they're mirror images of each other normally. If everything's right with the world, that's how it works, right? I would go ahead and take a minimum criteria or a deep criteria under those conditions. So the equity markets are all in sync, going down in this case, and gold is going up. So I'll go ahead and take that. Okay. Now, if you have a lot of screens, you can look at those markets. Now, I observe them for continuity between all the equity markets. I don't necessarily trade them. I might take a NASDAQ trade. I might not. It depends on the condition. But needless to say, no matter what instrument it is, this is my go-to trade every morning, right there. Midband trade in a trend. And that's a good place for you to start if you're learning how to trade this system, okay? ES is a slow mover. It's a good starter. Now, last thing about this, and then I'm going to go look at the long side. What is the most important thing to learn as you're starting off your trading career? You're learning and you're getting into trading and you're getting experience and you're learning, picking things up, learning new things, watching markets, getting experience. What's the most important thing? What is it? Making money? Is making money the most important thing? So I was going to come down here. I'm going to put another box and I'm going to type something in it, and I'm going to say, okay, what is one of the most important things that you got to get down? Is it making money? What should I type in here? Making money, right? Making money is the most important thing. Is that it? Am I right? Well, we already have instrument selection. So instrument selection is over here. So it would be different than this. So here we have trend, instrument selection, cut the losers short, hit the close button, let the runners run, and skip pre-market trading so you don't get all beat up. Okay, so that's over here. This is different. We're talking about how you learn and what's important. What are the steps in your learning? What are some of the critical things you got to get down? Is it making money? Minimize losers? Go ahead, type in your thoughts. What do you think? What is it? So I'm speaking to you, everybody here tonight. We got a huge audience. Welcome. Some late birds coming in. By the way, the late birds, don't worry about it. This is all recorded, the whole thing from start to finish. So if you got to leave too, don't worry about it. You can leave. In the morning, we'll post it up on the website and in the member area. So don't worry about it. What do you got to get right? Confidence. Here, let's go ahead. I'm getting a ton of answers from everybody. Okay, let me go ahead. Let me just type them in here. So from David H says, don't lose money. Okay, so I guess he's saying don't lose money. Okay. Mario said instrument selection. Robert S is saying, what is he saying here? Good trade execution. Okay. Develop confidence from James O. Okay. Follow rules from John. Not overtrading from Chuck H. Turn off the machine once you hit your goal. Adam. Okay, well, then we have a term for that. Most of you, of course, have heard it 1,000 times. Nicely green. Turn off the machine. It's paraphrasing what Adam said, which is, you hit your goal, turn off the machine. Identify high probability setups. Yes. Identify, I'll do one more. Let's say high probability trade setups. Okay. Last one, risk management. Okay. And Mario says no hope trading. Now, that's a pretty good beefy list right there. In fact, I go so far as to say those are all good. I mean, every one of those is good. There's good things. But is any one of these, we've got 1, 2, 3. By the way, thank you for all your answers. These are very, very good answers. Making money, don't lose money, good trade execution, develop confidence, follow rules, not over trading, nicely green, high probability setups, risk management, and no hope trading on your losses. But are any of those the number one in your learning? What is number one out of all that? And maybe it's not even on there. You want a hint? You want a hint? Well, okay, I'm going to give you a hint. I'm just going to do something here, and you're going to see how many you pick up on it. Ready? I'm going to flash something on the screen. Don't miss it. Uh-oh. What was that? Was that a UFO? Was that a flying object? Did the Navy just confirm the UFOs? Are we in Area 51? Where are we? What is this place? Huh? Are there aliens? Aren't they? Where are they from? Are they amongst us? This is a good list. I don't know. Seems like some kind of funky flying ships are coming around here once in a while. Oh, what's that? What is that? What is that? What's up? Oh, get out of here. What are you doing? What do we say just like not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes ago? You're going to know your numbers. And your numbers are related to what? Your win rate. And the win rate's related to what? The trade types that you take and how successful you are at taking them. So can you see how this all ties together? These are all good, by the way. I'm not disputing any of these. These are all important things to sort of keep in mind as you're developing and learning and getting better at trading. You can keep a journal. A journal's good. A lot of people don't like journals. I mean, essentially, when you run this report, this is your journal basically. Okay, it's all kept electronically now. You don't have to. I mean, the old days, you write everything down, go back and look at your chart, where I get in line, write everything down. You don't have to do that anymore, right? You just go, you put your instruments, put your thing in there, hit the dates, boom, it's all spit out right here for you. So once you know your instrument, and then you got to go to the trade type, which I just told you what mine is, right? I've learned over the years what I know and what I'm good at, and that is these midbands in a trend on ES. That is by far my favorite trade. I love those. I'll take those all day and night long, all the time. Okay, so I know what that is, and I know I have a very, very high win rate on that, and that's why I stick to it. So then when you get to that level, then you can start leveraging up. You know, you're not putting 1 or 2 on, now you're putting 4, 5, 6 on at a clip, right? So that's what you want to do. That's what your goal is, okay? That's what you want to do. You want to really fine-tune your understanding of this to getting very good trade entries, which will significantly impact in a positive way your win rate. Now let's look at the upside. Any questions on what we covered so far? We're about halfway in. Let's talk about the long side here, okay? Now I'm just gonna show these, okay? And then we're going to look at what happened today, okay? Let's just quickly go through the long side of this. Now, oh, and the last thing I want to say here is that the secret sauce. Okay, so everybody's had a McDonald's Big Mac or seen somebody or see the ads or whatever. But McDonald's Big Mac has secret sauce, and they've been selling those burgers since the 50s, and billions of them, right? And they have a secret sauce. So the secret sauce in trading is that if you say, look, I want to take a mid-band trade here, this key, and this is the variable that makes it tough and so challenging, is that you never know in any market condition in real time how far the retracement's going to go, right? One time it'll go to here. One time it'll go to there. One time it'll go to there. Sometimes it'll go to here. So if you think about it, that is an incredible variable to throw into the mix. And that's why you take something so simple on the surface like this trading system, right? And it makes it more complicated. Because now you start saying, well, okay, so what you have here then, if you think of it this way, if you want to step back 20,000 feet, we have built a framework and an infrastructure to understand where the trades are located. The secret sauce comes in when you have some knowledge and a little bit of experience under your belt to realize that when we say mid-band trade, it's not always going to go right on the mid-band, right? I'm just going to state the obvious. We all know that, right? It's not always going to go right on the mid-band. Sometimes it go a little under it. We're going to go a little bit above it. Sometimes it'll go right on it. Now let's look at the long examples to the right. And let me do a pop quiz. Make sure everybody's awake. I heard a thump, which is a head hitting the table. You got to drink some coffee. Stay awake. These bars right here, are they considered, is this considered a mid-band trade, yes or no? On the long side. Still wiring in. Type it in. Yes or no? That box right there, is that a mid-band trade set up long on ES? 3 seconds. Just a Y. Boop. Or an N. Boop. 2 seconds. 1 second. Time's up. Now, if you recall what we described on the downtrend, taking the short retracements, were located here. Now, the converse is true. Ironically, the trades are located in the same areas on the bands, but they're in reverse because we're taking longs and the trend is up. So characteristics of a long trend where you're taking longs and retracements are that you get a thrust in the up direction, background turns green, bars are predominantly blue, mid-band and all the bands stair step up, you have a green stealth, then you get this thrust, this notion of thrust retracement over and over again, right? So a minimum criteria trade for on the long side would fall here, just under line 6 in stealth. The mid-band trade is located in the bands immediately above, so that's the same. The only difference is you're buying, right? And then a deep retracement on the long side would be down into here. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same location, only the reverse, the mirror image. You're getting long now. You're not selling here. You're buying, right? Everybody see that? Okay. So that is an example. You've come into, bars have come into the band above and below. All right, let's do a quick quiz, and let's do another one now that you understand that. Let's look at this area right here. Is this a minimum criteria long on ES right here? What do you think? Yes or no? Does it meet the long criteria? These little bars right here? Minimum criteria on ES. 4 seconds. Yes or no? Is it or is it or isn't it? 2 seconds. Based on our definition. 1 second. So you got to get yourself. The reason I time these questions is that eventually what will happen when you become a student of the market and apply yourself and really, get into the craft and get good at it, you'll instantly know. When you look at a chart, you'll fire up your charts in the morning. And this is really exciting when you get to this point. And many of you are already probably or will soon be at that level where you instantly look at a chart and you know what to do. There's no question in your mind. You look at it, it's red, it's heading down, you're looking for shorts. And maybe you're a midband trader, and so you're looking for those midband retracements. So the answer is yes, right? You close below the green stealth, check mark 1, and you come below line 6. That's the definition. I just drew it over here a minute ago, remember? Right here. See it? Now I want to explain the risks associated with minimum criteria entries. It works as follows. Can you see that at the top of band 8 that there is this series of dashes? That's actually an indicator, a swing indicator is part of our package that we have, right? So when you buy a support level here, you can clearly see that the distance between this box and this swing is not very much, is it? To get to here, and keep in mind your initial stop for that trade is going to have to be down here somewhere, right? 10, 12 ticks, probably down. I mean, you could drag it up into here if you wanted to. So let's suppose you didn't get filled till that bar there. What's your risk-return ratio on that trade? You're filled on this bar, and you're trying to at least get back to the swing, and your stop's down under the bottom of the box. How does the risk-return ratio look on that? To you, to everybody. Here's your fill, and you want to get to there, and your stop is down here. How does that look to you? Let me clean it up a little bit. There's your profit minimum. You want to at least get to there. You're going to hope that it breaks it. Let's continue on. Does it break it? No. Not good. You want it at least 1 to 1 or 2 to 1, right? We know that, right? So doesn't take a rocket scientist with a lot of analysis to figure out the risk return on that is not that good because your target's only just a few ticks away and you got to put 8, 10, 12 ticks of risk on it. It's probably upside down. It's probably like 2 to 1 risk versus return, right? Now, let's look at this trade. In fact, let's do another one. I'm going to advance this chart. We know the trend is up, so we're looking for long trades. And when you think you see a midband trade long, you just type in the letter L. Let's do a little exercise together, okay? Craig says, should you not just box the entire yellow midband area to stop guessing which is above or below the midband? Well, it's a situation where you have to learn the different locations of where a midband trade can set up so that you're prepared to take a condition where it comes into above or below or on. Let's do one here. Let's do a couple together. All right? Let's do a couple together. Let's do an exercise where I'm going to recreate 10:30 on the morning of this day. The trend is up. Okay, the trend is up. And we're looking for long trades together, and I'm going to advance the chart. And when you tell me, when you think you see what is a long trade entry, okay? Here we go. Ah! Hold on. Here, stand by. All right, sorry about that. My Sorry about that. My wife just spooked me there. She cracked open my office door and spooked the heck out of me. I thought I saw a ghost or something. Sorry, my apologies. Didn't mean to freak you out there. Are we ready? That's what that was. Okay, here we go. Let's do this together. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to advance the chart, reconstructing real time at 10:30, and we're looking for long trades. Here we go. Midband long trades. You're looking for midband long trades. Okay, here now we're at 10:49. Get those bars nice and big for you. Okay, we're at 10:50 a.m. Pacific, ES, looking for midband long trades. Type in an L when you think you see one. Good for midband long trades. 10:51 a.m. Pacific, ES, midband long trades. Okay, there's 10:53. So while I'm going pretty slowly, I mean, it's taken maybe 30 seconds or a minute for me to do this reconstruction. You've actually gone about 15 minutes. That's how slow ES is. There's plenty of time to make decisions. So when you see a midband long trade on ES, you type in the letter L. Okay? Keep going. Here we go. 10:54. 10:55. 10:56. 10:57. Continuing. I'm going to stop right there. Well, I think some of you might be learning that, there's quite a few of you that are in here who are probably seeing this for the first time and trying to understand what you're looking at, and that's totally cool. And we've heard analogies, it feels like you're drinking water through a fire hose. It's a lot of information coming at you. I get it. We understand that. But my question to you is this. Where are these bars sitting right here? In that box. Where are they located? They're physically sitting right on the midband. I mean, if we were to take a snapshot and put it into Wikipedia as an example of a long trade using our system, that would be it right there. That is it. It doesn't get any more midband than that. All the bars are right on the midband. Now, what was interesting is, and let me tell you how, because I see the responses coming in. There was a small handful of you that as these early bars formed right here, you typed in the letter L. Now that's good. Now what I call that is early adopters. In other words, you've learned that setup so well that when the bars physically come onto the midband, you instantly know that that is a midband trade. And so my hat's off to you. You get the gold star. Now there's a handful of you who typed in L for long at midband when these bars formed right here. And that's still good. That's still very good. It gave you plenty of time to still catch the trade. And just to put things in perspective, how sometimes you don't really need to be too much of a hurry on old Geritol ES here. The bars entered this zone at 10:49 and did not exit until 10:57. They sat there for 8 minutes. 8 minutes is an eternity in trading. There's plenty of time to take this trade. Now, there was a small handful of you here tonight who typed in L for long when these bars formed right here. That is wrong. That's not correct. That's too late. This is not a trade entry. By the time that these bars have bounced and gone up to here, the people who got in here are already taking profit. And you're getting long here. Right? We've already taken our scalp profit up here. All right. So I've shown this a million times. There's a very easy, inexpensive thing to do on your charts that is really easy to do. Take your instrument of choice, maybe it's ES, right? Go and find yourself some good examples of midband trades, and then do a real-time exercise just like I just did. You start to the left, you toggle it right, follow it through. Do it again. Again and again and again, again. Muscle memory. Trading muscle memory. That's how you're going to get it. You're going to get those patterns down. That's how you do it. Most people need, you've heard this, 7 to 10 touch points before they get it. So you look at how many times you got to do that before you get it. Now, where else this is going to help you is, and you should do ones of varying depths of retracement. Do ones that get down into here. Do ones that get down into here. Get to one on the midband. Do them all. Do all those. So what happens is when real time comes along, in fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and zip to this morning, and let's talk about what happened this morning, okay? In fact, we're going to do an exercise recreating this morning. I'm not going to help you on this one. You should all be experts now, right? I'm going to advance the chart, reconstructing real time from when Gary opened the live room. And you tell me, long trade or short trade, when you think you see it. Or E, where you would have a region box that you would let go either way. Okay, so there's 3 answers. If you think you see, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. They're going to be midband trades. All right? I'm going to advance this chart. I'm going to reconstruct the open in the morning. I'll go slowly, and you tell me whether you see ST short trade, LT long trade, or E, you would box it and let it go either way. All right? Here we go. I'm going to start with the pre-market, and we're going to go slow so that everybody gets how this works. Okay, here we go. All right, now for you late birds coming in, I'm here in California. This is Pacific time, and midnight Pacific was right here. This is what we call the end of the Asian trading session. The big banks in Singapore, Hong Kong, trading ES, right? And then here's the European session to the right. Here's 428. So as I advance this chart, you will see a line come up. The line represents where Gary opened the live room. So you're at 5 minutes before 6 a.m., which is the crude pit open, right? Okay, here we go. ST short trade, LT long trade, E, box it, let it go either way. Here we go. Okay, we're coming up on 5:16. This is still the pre-market. 5:38, Gary getting ready to open the room in 17 minutes. Coming up on 5:40, 5:41. 5:43. 5:50, 5:55. Room's open. Crude pit's open. 5:59. So coming up on 6 a.m. Been in the room about 5-10 minutes now. Okay. All right. Okay, there's 6:11. 6:28. 6:30. There's the open of the U.S. equity markets. 6:30 right there. Okay. All right. Continuing on. 6:34. 6:32. This is like 500 times normal because I just covered, 5 minutes in like 10 seconds. 6:36. That's what I like about ES. Plenty of time to learn where to get in. Take them when they set up, right? 6:41. Equity market has been open for approximately 12 minutes. 6:45. 6:55. Now we're at 7 o'clock. 7:02. 7:02. 7 o'clock. We had, was it consumer confidence? We had a number this morning. I can't remember what it was. And it was very negative. It was very bearish news at 7. So the markets didn't like that. Newsbots glommed right onto it. 7:02. Okay. Right. Continuing on. 705. 709, 711, 715. I'm going to pick up the pace right now. Looked at a lot of data. 738, 746. 752, we're coming up on 8 o'clock. We're getting ready to close the room soon. 758, 8 o'clock. Pick up the pace a little bit here. 819, 820, 823, 826, 830. All right, I'm going to stop it there. How many did you get? Let me compress the chart so we can see the whole morning and see how many you got. Grade yourself on this exercise, okay? Lost my cursor here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, so that's the whole thing we showed right there. So how many trades are on this chart? And what are they? Well, what is the trend? What is the trend here? Huh? What is the trend? What kind of trades? Remember our list? Didn't we have that list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all that whole list and everything. So that's the first thing, right? Isn't that the first thing we got to figure out? I don't know. To me, it looks like the trend was down right through here, right? Would you agree? The trend was down. So this morning in this area from here to here, trend was down. So what kind of trades were we looking for? Yeah, we're looking for shorts. We're looking for shorts. That's what we said, right? Shorts only for now. Good. Now the first box that's set up when the room was open was right here. Now at the time this occurred, would that be an ST, an LT, or an E? At the time that this occurred, would this be a ST, LT, short trade, long trade, or E? You would let the box go either way. It's an E. Why? Well, let's go back and look. Notice how right here that the market had taken out the midband and had gone down into a deep retracement condition. So technically, from a trading point of view, as far as the uptrend was concerned, this is a deep retracement, right? But it did change the background to the neutral color. See that? Now when we come back here, and this is the breadcrumb thing that I talk about all the time, we have a swing up here, and notice what happened. This is what the market does for you, right? The market will show you that this is the buying interest in the market is starting to wane a little bit, right? You can't get back here. So high, low, see it? Lower high, lower low, and if that held, that would constitute third lower high. So you're starting to form a little bit of a downtrending channel here. The market is not, in other words, if the momentum in the buy programs were going to continue to push this market higher, should not the market have done that? Pushed up to fresh highs, right? Did it do that? No, did not do that. It paused here. That's why this box is an E. Sort of an either way box. In other words, you let it close up to take the long for trend continuation to the upside, or you let it take the short, and you have been filled short if you've drawn it as I have shown on the close of this bar on a market order right here. Okay? See it? And then the normal things go, scalp, target, runner, the two stops up here, the one cancels the other, move it down, then trail. Okay? So that was trade entry box number 1 called an E. Either way. Let's look at a few more. I'm going to speed this up. I'm almost out of time, and I wanted to get one more thing done. Is this a minimum criteria trade? Yes or no? Is this a midband trade? Yes or no? So we got 3 so far. Is this a mid-band trade here? Yes. In fact, it's almost encroached a little bit into that deep retracement area. That's correct. That's 4. Is this a minimum criteria here? Yes. That's 5. Is this a mid-band right here? 6. And then we don't get any more trades. So what was the proper answer? Short. The first thing is you were only taking shorts. Good. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 short entries, opportunities, all the way down. That was a massive sell-off. I took that. I leveraged up. I made very good money on that rundown. You only need a couple of legs of that. You don't have to take them all. You could just take in a couple legs and put a 1 or 2 lot on. Been up very nicely. Now, before I wrap, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to see how good everyone is tonight at spotting a trend change and then spotting long trade entries. Are you ready? I'm going to pump through this one pretty quick. Are you ready? I want you to be able to see a trend change, reconstructing real time from this morning after 9 a.m. Pacific, and then after you think you see a trend change, where are the proper long trade entries? Here we go. You ready? Here we go. Okay, now we're at 9:09. Getting into the sort of the middle of the morning out here. Okay. Okay, now we're 10. That's how slow ES is. That took an hour to get right to there. Okay, let me blow it back up a little bit here. See it get the bars real big. There's 10:30. 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Okay, it's 10:55 coming up on 11. Okay, there's 11:16. Clipping through it pretty quick now. Make sure you stay up. Stay up with it. There's 11:44. We're getting long in the tooth for the market today. 11:58. Got an hour left in the trading session. 11:58. 11:54. Yeah, there's noon. There's noon even right there on the button. Okay, there's 12:13. Okay. 12:25. Only got a little over half an hour in the market. All right, I'm going to stop it there. All right, so where did the trend change and where were the long opportunities? Okay, let me help you out. What happened right here with that thrust? Did anything change from the downtrend on that thrusting move right there? Yeah, it went into a long trend. Is this a long trend? What was the long trend? Higher highs, higher lows, green background, predominantly blue bars, green stealth, bars, midband and all band stair stepping up. Do we now have an uptrend? Yes. Okay, good. So was this a minimum criteria trade entry? Right here? Was this a midband trade? Right here. Long? Yes. Was this a midband trade long? Right here? Yes. How many of you got those? It's at least 3. Trend change and 3 longs. How many did you get? Okay, well, you know, that's part of the whole trading thing. You got to learn. That's how you learn. You got to practice, practice, practice. You got to learn the price action, the price patterns. Choose an instrument to learn. Know your numbers. Try to perfect mid-band entries on the first trade types that you learn. That's a good place to start. Perfecting mid-band trade entries in a trend, no matter what market it is. And then get your win rate up and make sure that those winners are at least 2 or 3 times the size of your losers. Was that a DB, a double bottom? Well, here again, I want to point this out, Robert K. And we normally call this out in real time. Oh, you didn't call out the minimum criteria. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. If you didn't get this one, and you said 2. That's fine. Because I think technically we were looking for mid-band trades. So if we're only counting mid-band trades on the long side, yes, that would be only 2. That's correct. Yeah, so once again, you can see that um, uh, uh, right in here, we got the swing low. We come back, we check, we get one more kiss and roll off just above the midband right there. That's a legitimate short trade. We get a slightly higher low right in here. That's normally a heads up that the selling sell programs are waning and short covering will begin to start, right? Did it pause here? Could you had an either way midband trade? Yeah, you did. You could have. In fact, right where the short was. Notice how with this thrust, what happened? Let me get rid of that right now. With this thrust, what happened? This is exactly what happened on just I saw you like 5 minutes ago. What happens to the background when that happens? It changes. So when, for the most part, and this isn't always true, but a very high percentage of the times, if you get a sufficient thrust or push in an opposite trend direction, and it triggers that transitional background, you can let this box go either way, right? You can let that box go either way. In which case, if you had, you would have caught the first leg of the long here. Now, normally, many times you won't catch that first leg, right? A lot of times you won't catch that first leg. What'll happen? It'll just go up. You know, you might be convinced in here that the downtrend is continuing, but it's not, and then it pushes higher. And the most important thing to take away from this is that, you know, if you didn't get the box here, you know, for whatever you do, just don't chase it and start getting here like you're going to miss out. There will be opportunities to pull back. It's extremely rare that a market will just run 100 ticks and never pull back at all. I mean, it does happen. I've seen it happen. It's not very often. It's very rare. Normally, you're going to get some kind of pullback, at least a minimum criteria to get in, and normally a bid band or two to participate in a run. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder. Thank you for